Let's take a look at our story for today. Hippopotamus the water horse. Question number 1 says the author wrote the selection mainly to blank. They want to know, why did the author write this? What's the author's purpose? We have answer choice A, explain the life cycle of a hippo. B, explain how a hippo protects itself from predators. C, explain the special features of a hippo that help it live in water. Or D, explain how the hippo hears underwater. Now, all of the answer choices are telling us that our author is trying to explain to us, but we have to decide, what is the author trying to explain? Jadine, what do you think? What is the author trying to explain to us? Okay. Okay. So what is it? What are some features they tell us about the second paragraph? Okay. So they tell us about its eyes, ears, and nose all being on top of its head. That's a feature. And how does the eyes, the ears, and the nose, how does it help it? What do they tell us about? How does that help it in the water? Okay. It can see underwater. How is it able to see? What's a feature about its eyes that lets it see underwater? Very good. They tell us here its eyes are covered with a clear membrane or skin. So when they're underwater, that skin that's clear protects their eyes, but because it's clear, they can see through it. They can see underwater. Jaylene? What do you think, Jaylene? Oh, you're already ready for number 2. Okay, well, hang on. Let me read it first, and then you can answer. But I do agree with you, Jaden. The author wrote to tell us about the special features of the hippo, and they tell us about the eyes. They also tell us later on about its ears, about different features. And I love that you found proof already. You already had it ready. That's fantastic. That's exactly what you should do. Always double check your answers with proof. If you don't have proof, you might have fallen for a trick. Question 2. Which words help the reader understand the meaning of submerged? A, allow the hippo to stay. B, under the water. C, for long periods of time. D, keep away from predators. So they give us a new word in our story, submerged. And they want us to know which of these words help us figure out what that word means. We call those context clues. What are the context clues that help us understand what submerged means? So Jaylene, you said you had an idea. What was your idea? What answer choice do you think helps us figure out what submerged means? Mm-hmm. Okay. So if I look there at the end in paragraph 4, and I love that you were specific about the paragraph, all of these features allow the hippo to stay submerged under the water for long periods of time. So I agree with you. I think that's very, very helpful to stay submerged under the water for long periods of time. And you said what answer choice was the best one?
B.
B. You're right. To submerge means that it's going to be covered with usually water. It could be something else, some other kind of liquid, but usually it's water. Why is it important, Jaylene, that the hippo can stay underwater for a long time? Why does it need to do that? To be safe, to stay under the water so that way things that are trying to eat the hippo can't see it. Question 3. What is the best summary statement for this selection? So remember, summary tells you all the important things from the whole story, from the beginning, from the middle, and from the end. What is the best summary statement for this selection? We have A. The huge hippo has many special features to help it while in the water. B. The hippo is the second largest animal on Earth and stays in the water for long periods of time. C. The huge hippo likes to swim but is very aggressive. D. The second largest animal on Earth is the hippo, which can breathe underwater for up to 5 minutes. Who can tell me what answer choice would be the best summary for this selection, this passage? What gives us the best short version, I guess? Best main idea, the important parts of this passage. What do you think, Bailey? A, B, C, or D? What would be the summary that you would pick, Bailey? What do you think, Bailey? What's your guess? A, B, C, or D? Make sure that you turn on your microphone before you start talking, Bailey. Okay, Nikai. Okay, Nikai. Okay, so Bailey, you say answer choice D. The second largest animal on Earth is the hippo, which can breathe underwater for up to 5 minutes. So was my passage mostly talking about how it can breathe underwater or how long it can breathe underwater for? No. A summary needs to talk about the important parts. It can't talk about every little detail because then it would be just as long as the story. It has to focus on the important parts of this. So if the big important part, okay, Chase, if the big important part of my story isn't that it can breathe underwater for 5 minutes, then it shouldn't be part of my summary. If I don't want to pick answer choice D, that leaves me with 3 other answer choices. Bella, make sure we're paying attention. We have A, B, and C. Who can tell me what answer choice looks the best between A, B, C? We have A, the huge hippo has many special features to help it while in the water. B, the hippo is the second largest animal on Earth and stays in the water for long periods of time. C, the huge hippo likes to swim but is very aggressive. Nakai, what answer choice do you think is the best choice? A, the huge hippo has many special features to help it while in the water. Okay, what is one special feature they tell us about, Nakai? What's one special feature they tell us about for the hippo? And hang on really quickly, let me just go ahead and take attention. You can just use your microphone too, Nakai. Okay, so they can stay underwater for a while. That's pretty helpful for it. Because like Jaylene said earlier, if it doesn't stay underwater for long periods of time, sometimes the predators, the animals that are trying to eat it, can go after it. Can someone find me another special feature? Because answer choice A says many special features. So I need at least 2. So it can stay underwater for a long time. Is there another feature the hippo has that will help it in the water? Jadine, what's another feature the hippo has that will help it stay under, or that will help it in the water? Um, that won't help it in the water. But Jadine, you had your hand up. What's another feature that helps it in the water? They have the skin over their eyes so they can see underwater. You're absolutely right. That's another one that will help it. Do we see another one besides the skin on its eyes and besides that it can stay underwater for a while? Do we have another one here that another feature in our story that helps it in the water? Alexa, you see another one? Per- Perfect. Because of where the water, or because of where its ears are, it can hear inside the water and outside the water. Let me go ahead and underline that. Here we go. When the hippo's head is slightly out of the water, it can hear sounds above the water because its ears are on top of its head. So its ears are in the perfect spot to hear under the water and out of the water. All right, so that is definitely a very good answer choice. A. The huge hippo has many special features to help it while in the water. Question 4 says, why did the author organize the text by describing hippo characteristics? So they told us about how big it is and how much it weighs. Then they told us about its eyes. They told us about its nose. Then they talked about its ears. And then at the end, they told us that all of those things help it to stay under the water. Why do you think the author organized it that way? Why do you think the author took turns talking about the hippo's eyes, and then their nose, and then their ears? Why did why did the author choose to write about them one by one? Like, what are they doing? Let me check yours. So let me. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so you should just have the 3 now, Heidi. Or sorry, Jadine. So now you can go ahead and put the one where you need it to. Okay. So who can tell me why do you think the author talks about the hippo's features one by one? Why doesn't the author just talk about everything all together at the same time? Bella, what do you think? Close the tab, hiding, and then open it up again. Okay. So close it and then go back into it again. Maybe that'll help it. So what do you think, Bella? Why did the author talk about the features one by one? But he could have given us all the facts all together all at once. Why would the author decide to write them one by one? Well, again, he could have talked about everything at once, right? He still would have given us all the facts, all the information. How does it help talking about them one by one? Who can help out Bella? How does it help them by talking about the features one by one? Violet?
Because they don't.
They don't. You mean like hippos don't use the same thing at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hmm. I don't think that's a bad idea, but I don't think it's because of how the hippos use them. Bella, do me a favor. Whatever it is we're paying attention to, baby, just put it away. Save it for later. I think that's might be why the author did it. To organize it and make it easier for you to read it. Easier for us to understand. So instead of giving us all the facts just squished together, it's a lot easier for us if they give us the facts one by one. We can put, why did the author organize the text by describing the hippo characteristics? Because it is easier to understand if they write about them one by one.
Mister,
yes, ma'am. Okay, do me a favor, Jadine. What I want you to do is click on one of your lines, the red lines you have. Okay, then I want you to click on the box down at the bottom. But just one at a time. Then what I want you to do is click on just that box, just by itself, that last one. No, the box for the answer choice for question 3. Okay, now move it around a little bit. When you move it, are you clicking with your mouse or how are you clicking? Okay. So, let's see. That. And let me do this. Okay, just go ahead and move those squares that I put on there, the new ones. Move those to where what answer you need them to be on. Move the second one. Okay. So it says to include an example from the text in our answer. So what's the first thing they talked about? What was the first feature of the hippo they told us about? Okay, Brianna. Haley, what was the first feature they told us about? Okay, so they told us about the size. So we can say first they talked about the size. After the size, what was the next thing they told us about the hippo? Size of the hippo, and then what? Jada. After the size of the hippo, what was the second thing they told us about? Okay, the weight. And after the weight, what was the next thing they told us about? First they talked about the size, then weight. After the size, after the weight, what's the next thing they told us about? Or the next thing they talked about? The adult hippo weighs as much as a car. Many special features of the hippo allow it to spend a lot of time in water. Its eyes, ears, and nose are all on top of its head. Its eyes are covered with a clear membrane or skin. So what did they talk about after the weight? Okay, Christopher. What do they talk about after the weight? What do they talk about right here? Okay? Nope. Look at where I'm looking. Look at where I'm at. The hippopotamus is the second largest land animal on Earth after the elephant. So here's the size. The adult hippo weighs as much as a car, around 4,000 pounds. There's the weight. The next feature is in our second paragraph. Many special features of the hippo allow it to spend a lot of time in the water. Its eyes, ears, and nose are all on top of its head. Its eyes are covered with a clear membrane or skin. So what's the next feature they told us about? Ezekiel. Which means it's what feature? What are they used to see? So they see with their skin? What do you used to see, Ezekiel? What's covered? Membrane. What is covered with the clear membrane? What do they use to see? What do we use to see? What are you looking with right now? They're pointed at the screen. I can see them. Because you don't see with your skin. If you wanted to look at something, you can't put your hand up to it and see it. You have to look at it with your... No, not with your mirror. If you're looking at yourself, yes. Alexa? With your eyes. So the next thing they tell us about is the eyes. Then they go on and they tell us about its nostrils, its nose. And they talk about its ears. So first they talked about size, then weight. Next, eyes, ears. Sorry, eyes first, then nose and ears. So they took turns talking about each feature of the hippo that helps it. How the size helps it, how the weight helps, how the eyes and the nose and the ears help it. So again, I'm going to leave this page up. That way, if you need to fix anything or change any of your answers, have them here.